Hello everyone, welcome to Game 3. Bane, apparently random Terran here, back on Metalopolis, and we will see them close by air distance, west and south. Again, Strossus choosing to be the purple Terran. This will be an interesting match. We haven't seen any TVT in this series because Bane has been randoming Zerg, and that's kind of a stupid statement to say, but regardless, we do have a TVT. Bane, I must say, plays very, very methodically with Terran, and that is probably, I think, his strongest race, in my opinion. At least what I've seen in the tournament and what I've seen with him other places. But we will see that both players are going to be pretty much doing the same thing. Bane, of course, knowing what his opponent is, choosing to wall off, may be trying to hide some tech or do some funky things that way, but it looks like he's going to be scouting the wrong way. Yes, indeed. That is too bad. Always check your close position first. On the Lost Temple, I usually go to the right. My opponent's usually to the left. But Bane putting up his barracks a little bit sooner than Strossus. Looks like he had a little bit more of a delay, and that is because Bane cut an SCV. Both players scouting the wrong way, and that is... it happens. You don't have to worry about it too much, but both players getting gas, very, very standard, very, very blasé. We should see some divergence. Strossus in the first game heavily favoring some bio play, but then squeaking in some siege tanks, and again in the second game started off bio, but the banelings came, then he went to straight up factory play, which unfortunately nullified the entirety of Bane's plan on Blistering Sands. Bane opting for that 2 supply depot and barracks wall in. And now we do have Strossus. It looks like both of them have eliminated the possibilities and know what their opponent is, but unfortunately both will not get scouting information, I don't think, unless an SCV can sneak around that. We will find out immediately. Ooh, second refinery for Strossus, and that's kind of a departure. So we will see something interesting, and we do see that he is able to get through there, so it's not a tight wall. This Marine, though, will be able to kind of ward off this SCV, and unfortunately Strossus' SCV being blocked again. Wow, Bane doing it as well, getting his second gas, and now we see that the wall still isn't... No, that's tight. Never mind. This SCV is trapped and will go down to the Marine, happy to have a kill and not be killed. Strossus, meanwhile, retreats to the all-important Zelnaga watchtower, and now a factory going down. Looks like Bane opting for perhaps a very quick one-ish build with Tank Viking. It looks like that's what Strossus is gearing up for as well. Getting a very late orbital at 21, and that is partially due to the fact that he took an early gas and already placed his factory. And now we see another supply depot trying to dot the landscape, make sure that no Reapers come in or anything like that. And we do have Bane protecting his line of sight blocked smoked back door. Very fun to exploit with air units, Niduses, or as Protoss proxy pylons. You can fit a ton of structures back here. A pylon, and I think 2 gateways, pylon, gate, maybe? But, in fact, we saw that in the GSL. If you've been paying attention to the GSL, which I highly recommend, a ton of high-level plays, very strange, very nice, very extraordinary types of plays, and highly recommended. Unfortunately, I missed the last game. I set my alarm wrong and wasn't able to do much, but this Strossus SCV looks like he's going up to the top. What he does there, I don't know. But it looks like Bane, not taking any chances, will be scouting around and actually not seeing it. Buttoning up his door, though. Very disciplined, very nice. Do have the first tank coming out, and we should have a Marauder on patrol, making sure that nothing goes down. Unfortunately, he doesn't see the racks going down. Perhaps to save scans, Strauss is opting for that. First tank is out. Siege Tech is halfway done. And I believe that actually Bane is a little bit ahead because he didn't have to wait for any sort of any tech lab because he just lifted off to the one on the racks. Unfortunately, Strauss is opting for a second one. Supply blocked, at least for a little bit. This one should be nearing completion. We do see that Bane has a hero scan revealing everything. He does know that there's a barracks there. Actually, he doesn't really know that. But this this Rax will be used as a scout. Very skimpy on anti-air is Bane, but he does have another command center going up, and now we do have an eBay. So he might be thinking that his opponent is going air. Banshees are very powerful, game-changing units. Even if they're not as effective as you'd want them to be, they still can be effective. Now the floating Rax scout is going out, and then now the siege tank has 1 kill after icing the SCV that built that floating Rax. Meanwhile, Strossus is building up a fairly smallish force for both players, actually, but we do see Bane putting down a starport. Gonna be lifting off his command center a little bit. No, I apologize. Wow, I missed that completely. I am extraordinarily bad at casting. That's what I am. But now another hero scan for Bane. I'm not sure why he did this, but he did it perfectly. He does see the reactor going up. He does see the starport going up. So Strossus is actually the one initiating the type of tank Viking type of play, and we do have an orbital going up now for Bane. He's free and clear to move out. The tank count squarely in his favor, and I think it depends how he plays this, but I think that this is going to go Bane's way if it was to be an even fight. Unfortunately, Bane's placement, even though it's good, it can be exploited quite easily, and I think this barracks is going to get down. But look at that, three Marauders, 3 Marines, and a couple tanks being seen by Bane. In fact, even getting some free shots off on this tank. A fair amount, actually, 15 damage. And by 15, I mean 25. Right? Yes. I am so pro. I can do math. But Strauss is letting his minerals go up there, Bane keeping it fairly low, and Bane sieging up on the high ground. Unfortunately, if Strossus were to push out at this juncture, he'd be sorely behind. Now we do see that Vikings are on the way, a lot of Vikings are on the way. No more tanks quite yet. He does have a couple out here. And Strauss is just making sure that his opponent is penned in, unfortunately leaving free and clear his expansion. And it looks like he got a little gun shy, and now the tanks have sieged up in a nice spot. Even has a floating Rax as his spotter, and that is a very, very important thing to have. He does also have a Marine up here that can come down if needed, but the Rax Scout for both players actually very, very important. And actually, this Rax being pushed toward the missile turret, which will easily eviscerate it. And we do see that Strossus, unfortunately, will lose this scouting Rax, but not before it saves him a couple scouts. And it looks like Bane may have misclicked here, and that is actually extraordinarily bad. I'm not sure why he did that. Is he getting up another base, or the Vikings landed? That's what happened. As well as a medevac over here, but no units here. Wow! Who knew that Vikings were useful as medevac cargo? But Strossus gearing up to move out. Let's see, he is going all the way across, maybe over to his expansion, but that is a long trek for a command center to make. And Viking gets 1 kill. They get heavily wounded, and it looks like that worked out better for Bane than I thought. Now we do have a sensor tower coming up, and now the Marauder's going to be working on the back door. We do have two starports up off of 2 bases, easily able to continue production out of everything. And this is what I mean about very, very methodical. He is very, very turtle effective, and he just allows you to make the mistakes, and then pulls ahead because he doesn't make those. He doesn't lash out and try to destroy you. He lets you come to him. Very passive, very nice. Strauss has his expansion, building 2 refineries, but unfortunately hasn't started mining quite yet. Unit-wise, we do see that Bane squarely ahead in the SCV count, as well as he's behind in the army count, actually, but the tanks are the thing that really matter. His opponent does have a ton of Vikings in the air, which will help him, as he does have air superiority, but the superior economy for Bane is able to keep up much better than maybe Strauss' hopes. He does have a ton of Vikings heading out, and actually could do a little bit of damage here. Killing this barracks scout will be very, very nice for him. But instead, Bane just decides to land, and Actually, very nice, very disciplined. In fact, the Minx statue has 150. No armor. Ooh. Very nice, very nice, I like. He is sacrificing some Vikings to make sure he takes out tanks. So this is like next-gen tank dropping, Zealot bombing. But, Bane responding with a ton of, turrets going up around his base to kind of seal in the flavor. And now Strossus is in full swing on his expansion. We do see yet another time going for the fusion core. I would actually love for Strossus to make this either an orbital or he does have like 1,300 minerals, but an orbital or a planetary or of some sort. This medevac not being used for the last vestiges of bio that he has on the map. Bane, though, just continuing to produce Vikings, trying to work towards that air superiority that he needs to remain very competitive. Even taking the time to repair his Rack Scout, and that is very, again, pretty methodical. We do see the Viking skirting around the sensor tower's edge, seeing what he can pick off and what he can do. We do have a flight going up towards the north, and it looks like this Marine is just going to be on scouting duty. And still doing a ton of damage. That's the DPS of one Marine. But he does have about 9, I believe, Vikings out and about. Meanwhile, Bane continuing to produce SCVs, and that actually might work to his disadvantage. He needs to be on 3 bases with around his 60 SCVs, so he should be plopping down one pretty soon. His mineral count is rising, but he does have his air superiority. He's producing out of one more reactor racks than his opponent. He does have another orbital up. He has double the SCV count. He's got more tanks. So again, this is like I'm just repeating myself here, but methodical, traditional TVT style. Look at this, picking off a stray Viking in one shot. These 2 Vikings will go down. Even taking out this poor Banshee. In fact, landing here would be a very, very nice move. This tank is out of position. I'm not sure why he hasn't taken out his opponent's production facilities. Maybe waiting for this flight of Viking. No anti-air in Strossus' main. And actually, I think Strossus might... No, he's not. He's going to focus fire. Both players focus fire. But I think that Bane has the edge. As evidence, his 4 surviving... Oh, first battlecruiser out. And it looks like queued up are his opponent's Vikings. But look at that. 4 Vikings and easily able to punish that battlecruiser. Might even kill it if the... no. So the battlecruiser barely edging out with help from the SCVs to repair him. Another battlecruiser out. But again, his opponent has had time to continually add to his Viking count. Out of 3 starports, looks like this one's not being used, but he is upgrading, and that is exactly what you want to see. Bane with a huge tank count. Again, being somewhat methodical, but at the same time, pushing out with a few Hellions to really punish his opponent's expansion. Putting down a scan, seeing that battlecruiser, which got nerfed in the latest patch. Strossus forgetting about this small